It's time to dad. Hey guys, welcome back to Time to Dad. Welcome into the new year. I think we already did a New Year's episode, but if you missed that, we'll welcome you into 2024 on this one too. Um, just a little bit of an update on where we are with the podcast. We've dropped a couple dads. Um, I think it's just the nature of the beast with this type of podcast. It's just life gets in the friggin' way, man. Whether it's kids, family stuff, work, it's just tough, and we don't get together super often to do this. But I hope everyone out there realizes that it is a time commitment. We don't make a damn dollar off this show right now. In fact, we're negative every month with the costs of the programs we use to make it happen. Um, so yeah, it's tough to keep volunteering when you got big milestones that come up in life or things you need to deal with. So no hard feelings to those guys. It sucks. We'll miss them. I'm not going to go through who left the show, but if you've watched any of the last few episodes, you can figure that thing out. But we're still here, taking care of you guys. We hope you're still enjoying the podcast. No real intent to add anyone else to the group at this point. I think we have a good core group, and I kind of told these guys it's tough when we lose somebody for me to go back and we do this whole interview process to pick guys up, and that eats up a lot of my time, eats up the guys' time. And I just told the guys, I think the group of 5 that we have left, I'm going to ride it into the ground till I'm the last dad on the podcast. I don't have any plans to seek anybody out. If anybody out there listening really enjoys the show and you want to reach out to me on Facebook through the Time to Dad Facebook group or one of the other dad groups I'm in, by all means, message me. And we're not open to adding other dads. I'm just not going to go out and advertise it and try and find them. I just don't think that's a good use of my time, or our time. So we're rocking and rolling with the core 5 that we have left. We're missing one tonight. It's cold and flu season. Joe's here and he's on the struggle bus with a cold he's got going on and stuff. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work, guys. So those of you that are listening, I do appreciate you listening, and I hope you know that this isn't we take this seriously, and it is a time commitment for us. So I hope you guys appreciate what we're out here doing with Jason's background noise going on.
But it ain't about how hard you hit.
Yeah.
It's about how hard you
Little
can
Rocky
get
Balboa.
hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
That's right.
That's how winning is done.
That's right.
So that's where we are with the podcast. Sorry to bore you with that, but I feel like if anybody got attached to anybody or was curious, like, hey, where the hell did he go? Now you guys know. So we didn't kick anyone out. Those were totally decisions that those guys had to make for themselves. We're not really a dictatorship kind of thing. It was just a life choice and decision they had to make. But anyway, thanks again. Welcome to Time to Dad. Let's get possibly positive. We did this cool thing in my leadership course that I just got back from tonight, actually. And we the woman in our company that kind of runs this leadership program I'm in, she started off with a check-in, which I thought was super cool. I'd never done one of those. So I just want to do a check-in with you guys. Where are you guys at? How are you feeling? Popcorn Alex.
Popcorn Alex. I do love popcorn. I love kettle corn more than popcorn. I'm doing good. I came to the realization that my job is going to be temporary because, like, as good paying as my job is, it's not what I want to do. So my main thing this year is going to be just diving headfirst with my band and just hopefully playing bigger shows, hopefully playing bigger venues. Obviously, my family is also a factor. I have to provide for them, so I'm not just going to up and quit and expect to, make it off whatever little money we make off a show. So, but I'm definitely putting my head to the ground and just charging towards that target. You know what I mean?
That's tough, man. I've been well, I will say I've been in those shoes, but I haven't. So I when I was doing that and that was my goal, I didn't have a family, dude. I was like living the bachelor life, and even that was tough, man. So Godspeed with that, dude. But if that's what you want to do, man, make it happen.
There's nobody stopping me, baby.
Yeah. Except yourself. Don't get in your own way.
I'm not quitting. I'm gonna there's everything in this year is gonna be towards making that better. So I have the plan to go get gym equipment tomorrow. Just life longevity, not just for my kids, but for me, just health wise. Like I want to live a semi decent, healthy life. There's a lot of unhealthy people out there, and I'm not the healthiest person, but I'm definitely able to move and able to get around, so I'm not struggling. So
Alex, because obviously there's other people in the band. Are they kind of in the same?
Oh no,
we're
if I'm honest, this weekend is going to be a very hard conversation, and like I don't really talk about my band, but it's like we're either gonna break up or fucking make it, and I'm going wherever my singer goes, and me and him have a good relationship, and we have access to people, musicians that we are friends with that can help us, start over or start something new. Like we have a foundation and we have a goal, and like I said, nobody's stopping me.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, let's update us on that conversation. Maybe a recording of that would be our next episode.
I'll let you guys know. I'll definitely record something.
All right, popcorn somebody.
Popcorn Joe.
All right. Well, 2024, we're like 11 days in. I think I've been sick twice already, so that hasn't been the best start.
Yeah.
I was sick last week for like.
And your kid's not even in school yet, right?
He does 1 day a week.
Yeah, wait till he's full time, man. We were talking about that in the Facebook group. My kid every 2 weeks, man, like clockwork, brings something funky home from school, and it makes its way through the fucking family, and then we're all happy for about 2 weeks, and then it happens again, man. 30 little kids at school.
I gotta go get a immune booster, get something up and running in the system. Speaking of healthy for 2024, I don't know. I got made my thyroid checked or something. All weird crap is happening. So
it's funny you mentioned thyroid. When my anxiety went, what is Jason doing? Oh, is that Joe coughing?
No, that's Jason with the sound bite again. Oh my God, never fails. Thank you, Jason. Keep it coming.
Yeah,
I saw him smiling.
When my anxiety was going batshit crazy and I thought I was dying, and they started, I had them look at my heart and shit. That was like one of the things they looked at, because I was like, man, maybe I have a freaking thyroid issue. Because the more I looked into it, the more I realized that your thyroid controls like 75% of your body's functions.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit.
But they did the like blood tests, and that came back negative for any. Well, they say negative for any kind of thyroid issue. So I was like, okay, well, shit. Guess I'm just plagued with anxiety.
Yeah. Maybe I should get that checked out. Then, because it does run in the family, and I know it's like one of the
definitely
things.
Then. Yeah, they can do a simple blood test to ballpark it.
I just hate the doctors.
So do I, man.
Nobody likes the doctors. Dude.
When I walked in,
like, I'm sick now, and I don't even want to go because other people are sick, and they're gonna get me more sick. That's the way I look at it.
Dude, I would not have gone to patient first if my anxiety had not gotten so bad that I would be sitting still and like have a smartwatch that measures my heart rate, and I can check it in the app. I would just be sitting there chilling, like cool as a cucumber. Heart rate would be like 140. I'm like, man, this is not fucking normal. And like, I still have the heart. I still have the CT or the echocardiogram to do at the end of this month. But I wore that patch, like the mobile. It basically measures all your heart frequencies and rhythms and shit. I wore that for 2 weeks, and they got it back and went through the results, and they were like, yeah, your heart's fucking perfectly normal.
Oh,
According
wow.
to this thing, it's just anxiety, man. Anxiety is really fucking weird. And the more people I talk to with anxiety about how scary it is, they're like, holy shit, like somebody else that has it that thinks they're dying every 5 minutes. Because
Yeah, I
anxiety
think I'm
just,
dying all the time.
dude, it
sucks.
can cripple you, man. It's really scary how anxiety, it can affect your mind, your heart, your body function. Yeah.
Yeah.
That right
I didn't
there.
know that. I hate you, Jason. I hate you so much. You're so good with it.
So, Joe, any big goals for 2024 resolutions?
You know, I'm a
That
yeah.
was very
A lot of my
distracting. So.
I'm not huge
It's
into
very loud,
resolutions.
Jason. Cut that shit.
I mean, according to Jason's beeping, I guess right now it's "Don't Die" is the main one for me.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. You can't.
You know, that's probably the main one. I mean, listen, I don't like resolutions because I feel like most people fail at them
Yeah.
and they don't actually stick. So, you know, I think there's a big difference, you know, from a goal to a resolution. You know, but, you know, I have, obviously there's always business goals and family goals that we have. You know, Alex kind of alluded to it. We want to get back in shape and get in better shape, which I think everybody does. But kind of going to your point earlier, we were talking before, not starting January 1st like everybody else does. I'm going to, you know, it's just going to be a more healthy, balanced thing. But we have some big business goals this year and kind of just creating a little bit more freedom with, you know, we opened up a new office and now it's just a matter of getting a few new people operating before our next kid because we're having another baby in March. And, you know, if I can have some people set up in March.
Mute you the rest of the show.
Yeah.
What is it? Don't die?
Oh my God, Jason, you're the worst.
So
It's got a 5-year plan. What is it?
that
Don't
it is.
die?
It's definitely a 5 year plan. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so you know, with the baby coming in March, it's just you know, one of the main goals is to get a few things up and going these next few months. So when the baby comes, I can definitely be home more this time around than maybe with the first one. You know,
Nice.
so that's probably my biggest goal is just making sure.
Were you your own boss when your first son was born?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still kind of like, you know, not that we're not in grind mode. That was like full grind mode. You know, like,
How long were you in? Was that like right when you started doing your own thing?
that's been 8 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's been 8 years now. You know, on and off. But I always had like two things going on. Ever since I graduated college, I was always doing multiple things. There was never a time in my life that I wasn't really until now. You know, so that was kind of like, it was always like working a lot, right? So we didn't have to do it in the future.
Yeah.
You know, so the first one was kind of like towards the tail end of it. We kind of got to where we needed to, but we still had to keep the momentum going and finish things. So now I'm trying to kind of get this next up and running with the new office so we can relax a little bit, take a few weeks off this time, you know, and enjoy some time. Because you can't do that, unfortunately. You know, like people are like, oh yeah, I got 10 weeks off. I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I was on the phone in the
co-paternity
hospital.
or whatever they call it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't pay into
that's
that when
insane,
you pay
man.
yourself.
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
All right, popcorn, somebody, man. Good stuff.
well, I'll popcorn the only one left unless Jason's just gonna play videos.
Well, I haven't gone, so you can popcorn. You can popcorn Jason or I.
All right, there you go. I'll popcorn Jason, then he can go to find a
He's been itching. He's been itching to go on.
So is the question what we want to do? Or
No,
what
man,
we've done?
it's a check-in. It's exactly what it sounds like. Like, how you doing, man? What are you getting into? What's up with 2024?
Well, I still got the little ones, so that's my main focus. Tomorrow is, well, I don't know when we're dropping this episode. 3 days ago tomorrow, however it works out, is my son's second birthday.
Nice.
So we'll do a shout out to Russell for his second birthday.
Whee!
Yeah, so that's my focus. I got a a new job. I'm trying to get my foot in the door with a different brand of sales. Very, very stressful. Putting on weight, not doing my exercise routine. I'd say I'm off to uh, a rough start with 2024, but it's a continuous improvement mindset.
You got a
I
good
think
outlook
that's
for
what
it,
we
at
all
least.
gotta. I think the only way is through, right? So we just gotta, if it's a bad day, you gotta get the bootstraps and try to improve upon it the next day. Day by day is my philosophy for 2024. So that's where I'm at with that. I think that would serve most of the dads and non-dads that listen to this show, and hopefully it serves me because it's been tough. We're 11 days in and it feels like 11 months. So it's a tricky thing to have a whole bunch of changes all at once. I'm sure you guys can kind of attest and talk about that. But for me, basically, I try to have a very organized approach, and it never quite plays out the way you want it, even for like an hour. So yeah, I think a day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, when you have kids and you're trying to make changes is the only way to do it.
Word.
Yeah, dude.
Popcorn
I
myself.
like it.
I'll send
Go.
it back. Send it back to me.
Shoot. Yeah, man. I don't know. I feel really good about 2024. I don't feel great about 2023. I'm kind of like Joe. I don't really like resolutions, and I agree that a lot of people fail at them, and I think 90% of that reason is because people set the bar way too friggin' high for themselves, almost to an unattainable level. I also think people I think they set resolutions in order to impress other people. Which, if that's the reason you're trying to do something, like, you're already on the wrong foot. You're doing it for the wrong reason. Um, so I mean, I would love to get, I want to get back into the gym, and we kind of talked about this pre-show before we started recording. I'm gonna wait till like February. I know I've been in and out of gyms enough in my life that it gets crammed full of new resolution people, and then it kind of goes back to normal.
You belong to me.
So eventually I will get a gym membership, and I'll start going back, just because I think a couple of you guys touched on it, that it's about longevity, not just for myself and feeling good, but it's also for my family and my kids. So that's not my resolution, but that's more of a goal for me. I want to get back in there. I miss being able to do strenuous shit and not feeling like I'm dying the next day because I haven't used like muscle groups in a while. But work, man, work has been fierce. Oh, you got something?
Well, I had all intentions of doing this 100 push-ups a day for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. January 1st, I did 3 sets of 25, and my arms felt like they were going to fall off, and I was in pain for like a week. So I've done 75 of the 1,100 push-ups I was supposed to be at for the month. So,
Whatever, man. It's a good
Those poor
cause. You don't
kids.
get
Those poor
penalized for
kids.
not doing enough.
They've sent letters. They're not happy with me. But,
Yeah. I don't think they're tracking you as close as you think. That's good cause.
So what's behind it? Are you supposed to donate after? Like, how does that work?
I don't know. I think you're supposed to like.
Yeah, people
raise
donate.
Awareness.
Yeah, you can. They give you like a little page you can link people to, and basically people are giving you money because you pledged you're going to do XYZ. But it's not like if you fall short 300 push-ups that everybody's going to be like, give me my damn money back.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we do a similar thing. Like we do a heart walk because my dad passed away of a massive heart attack. So actually, we haven't done it the past couple of years because of just COVID and the weird timing of the event. But it's kind of similar. Like you tell people you're doing the walk, and you can send a link, and they can sponsor you and donate. But really, it's about just getting like St. Jude's name out there and getting. I think Anthem does the heart walk. But it's really an awareness thing, and it's about bettering yourself if you want to be an actual participant. But it's like a do what you can, not a you have to do this. But those things are cool. And then what the hell was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. Usually work wise, in the engineering industry, at least in for the companies I've worked for, it's going into like the early part of the year is usually like a slow ramp up, and you can kind of come back from, a lot of us save vacation because of how New Year's and Christmas falls. So you can end up only using like 4 PTO days, and you end up with 2 weeks off the way it happens. And so usually you can come back from that break, and it's kind of like a slow ease into 2024 or the upcoming year. But this year, man, it's just all these projects that we thought were going to kind of lapse and just hang out there in space for a while. We're just getting pinged left and right. Like, let's get this done. When can you get it done? And it's been kind of a hectic year, career business wise, at my engineering firm. And from what I heard, it's not just our office. It's almost all of our offices throughout the company, which is good and bad. I mean, I'd rather have way too much work than not enough work. Is what we kind of say in the industry, right?
It's job security.
But yeah, exactly. And so, but that's been fun. And then mentally, I gotta, dude, one of my huge effing goals is I really got to get to the doctor and just get my anxiety in check. I tried Lexapro 2 years ago, and that shit just made my anxiety 10 times more through the roof. So I got off it, and I did a lot of research, and I tried a lot of the like self-help type stuff and kind of quick remedies to help you get through a bad anxiety spell and shit like that. But it's just getting bad, is the best way I can put it, to where I, like, when we were going to Roanoke, and I knew it was going to be stressful for me because I won't get into it, but you're going to see the in-laws and you're traveling and stuff like that. And so I knew it was going to be stressful. And I had and I didn't even tell my wife this, but Roanoke's like 3 hours away. And luckily we stopped an hour and a half outside of Richmond to go take our son to like an indoor zoo, because I was just having the worst friggin' anxiety attack of my life. And when we got to the zoo and I finally calmed the F down, because I saw my kid getting excited, I just kind of made a mental note to myself. I was like, man, this coming year, I have got to get my anxiety in check. And so that is like, if I had to say I made an actual resolution that I have to stick to, that is it. It's just getting my anxiety under control and figuring out what the triggers are of it, and just bettering that part of my health, because it's just driving me nuts. So, but
do you feel like something triggers?
That's the thing, man.
You haven't figured that out yet?
I can't, dude. I could be like I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was like, dude, I can be having the best day of my life, like nothing planned. The day is pretty much whatever the hell I want to do. We don't have any family plans. It's just a casual day. And all of a sudden my anxiety will just be like, fuck you. You're not having a good day today. It just comes out of nowhere. And that's not to say that it's not sometimes triggered by work related stuff like tight deadlines or maybe an argument or some shit like that I have with Jen. But those are obvious triggers. It's the times where it just like, we're having an awesome time as a family, and it just blindsides me, where I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? To the point of where like I can't even focus on like having a good time with them. And I don't think they notice it. I don't think my wife notices it. And I'm a typical dude, so I don't talk about she knows I have anxiety. And there's only been a handful of times where I told her, like, I just need a freaking minute. Can you like hang out with Emerson? Because my anxiety is going crazy. But I think 90% of the time it's not. I don't what's the word I'm trying? I don't project it. So she doesn't know that I'm like having a serious anxiety issue, which is probably part of the problem too. I bottle that shit up, right? But yeah, it's really like, I understand I can manage my stress better. I can get more sleep. I can work out. That'll all definitely help with the anxiety. But there's still that piece that blindsides me that tells me, like, even if I can get those things under control, I think it'll still be an issue. So I just got to get to the doctor and stop being a typical dude that's like you said, Joe, like, I don't want to go to the fucking doctor. Doctors always give me bad news and shit like that. So I got to go. I just got to make the appointment. I got to get my echocardiogram done.
Yeah, well, that's a different reason to go to the doctor. Yeah. So, I think he doesn't go to the doctor and ask me if I have COVID every
it's
time
annoying because he's like, the cardiologist that I met, he's like, your heart looks perfectly normal, sounds normal. I don't think there's anything wrong, but let's do an echo CT. And I'm like, okay, but if everything's normal, why do we need to do that? So that kind of drives me nuts. But at the same time, he was like, look, if we find nothing, that's great. But he was like, your insurance is going to pay for this because we're still recommending it. And he was like, it's never too early to start taking a look at your heart. And he was like, so what, if we don't catch shit, then thanks for your $25 copay. You get a clean bill of health. But if they do, he was like, it's never too early to catch something that's wrong. Which I thought was cool of him to say, because that made fucking sense to me. And I was like, all right, let's just do it. So I'll get that done. I'll get through that. And then I got to make my appointment. The biggest problem is what we talked about in the previous episode, is to get we talked about, I got dropped by my other PCP, primary care physician, because I hadn't seen her in so long.
That sounds like a drug.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me.
Yeah, that's like your main doctor that you see is a PCP, right? And but she dropped me because I hadn't seen her in like a year and a half.
They can drop you for that?
Yeah, they did it to me.
They'll make you go through the new patient process. It's really fucking annoying.
I have to start that over next week.
And they do that because they don't. I mean, I understand it. That's how they balance their patient load and how many patients they have. So if I haven't seen her in a year and a half, she's thinking, okay, this guy's no longer my patient, whatever. It's bullshit, but I understand it. But now the issue is,
you just haven't gotten sick.
I've called like 5 different doctors because a few months ago I was like, man, I need to get on top of this. And I called probably 5 different doctors' offices, and everybody was like, we don't have appointments till February of next year.
Dude.
Because of the whole new patient thing. And so all I've had up to this point is, luckily Anthem allows you to use Patient First as your primary care. So I can go to Patient First, use it as a copay, but I really need a doctor that I'm going to see regularly and we can talk about, shit regularly, because Patient First just isn't really the place for that. But that's what I'm dealing with, is getting an appointment to become a new patient, a new regular patient is 3 to 4 months
they can
out.
drop you. I had no idea. I haven't been to the doctor since 2020. So I
bet if you call your doctor, they're going to be like, fucking Joe who? Like, you're not even in our system.
I don't even know who my doctor I went to was. I went to him one time when we first moved. I forgot who it was, and I don't know where he is. So that's why I haven't been there since.
You'll be in the same boat then. I mean, if you can't go back to that doctor, to get a regular physician again, you'll be on a waiting list. I've talked to a bunch of people, and I've seen a bunch of posts in dad groups about it. And I don't know why it's that way. It's not like all of a sudden a shit ton of people are needing healthcare. I don't feel like. I don't know why.
Urgent care is big, right, you guys?
I mean, we have Patient First everywhere. Do you have Patient First? Because that's Patient First is our urgent care.
Urgent care, okay.
They're not open 24/7, but basically shy of like your fingers hanging off of your hand, you can go in there and get pretty much anything done, right?
Yeah.
And if they can't
Alex,
do
you
it,
have that by you or no?
No, we have urgent care. Patient first is just something new to me.
yeah, we have urgent care, and then we have patient first, and they're one and the same here, basically.
Nice.
And if you go there and I mean, they're pretty, like when my lung collapsed, when was that? 2015. I don't know how I drove there. I was in so much fucking pain, but I basically crawled up to the side door, which was like, do not enter. This is an exit only. And luckily, one of the physicians saw me at the door, opened the door, and let me in. But they couldn't deal with a collapsed lung, right? So they call an ambulance and they'll transfer you to a hospital if they have to, which is what happened in that case. But yeah, patient first, pretty chill. They're just, it's not for me as far as like making them my regular physician.
Yeah.
So I just need to man up and not be a typical dude that's like, I'm not going to the doctor unless I'm dying, type thing. And I just need to make the appointments and schedule shit and that. So that's my goals. My goals for 2024.
Nick, listening to you talk about all that stresses me out.
It's funny because I think we can roll into possibly stress relief as the next topic. Where are you guys at with that? I know Joe, running a business is stressful. Alex, the bomb you just dropped about music is pretty stressful. Jason, the shift in your career and what you got going on is pretty stressful. You guys got any go-tos for stress? Going out to the shooting range, spending a couple hours in a local break room.
Regular season game.
Hold on. We'll let Jason go first here. It's been a while. And he's got something going.
I don't know what he's doing.
Jason's not even listening.
You gotta dump that shit! You gotta dump that shit!
No. Jason, do you hear us at all?
He's in his own world, I think. I don't know what's going on.
No.
All right, Alex, we'll go to you.
I just wanted the Goose Fraba. Come on, Goose Fraba. That's how you do stress relief. Nobody remembers that movie. Come on.
I remember that.
We actually asked me how I do stress relief. Is that the real? Is that it? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or do you? I mean, do you or maybe you don't?
I smoke weed. That's what I do for stress relief. Or meditation, healthy things. But
I don't think you. I would have not pegged you for a weed smoker. That's kind of funny.
No, I love it. For sure.
You got your medical card for that, sir?
This is Massachusetts. You don't need shit from Shinola for any of that here, dude.
You're parking the car in Harvard Yard.
Everywhere. There's a store in every town. My town doesn't have one, and neither does the town that I sell cars in, but you just like go one town over and they got...
I love that you said there's a store in every town, but my town doesn't have one.
That's like counties in Virginia. You can't buy alcohol in one county, but if you drive 5 miles, you can buy it.
Very much so. Very much so. You have like... so. Joe, to that point, you got 10 in the town that allows it, and then none in the next town. So you just, I mean, you can find it. Stress relief definitely is an issue. I think if you can, meditation and exercise are what I would recommend. Are those the things that I have time for as a father of two? And I actually do them.
Do you meditate? No. Okay.
Meditate. Well, I think.
Can I ask a very stupid question, Jason? Can you?
There are no stupid questions.
Because I never understood what meditation is, other than sitting quietly, cross-legged, and your fingers doing something. That's the image I've always had in my head, and I've never understood it. Can you explain that a little bit, please?
Meditation? Yeah. It is it's a very focused calming of the brain. So the way that meditation was explained to me in like a Zen Alan Watts perspective is that our thoughts are like a monkey that swings and hops from branch to branch at all times. So the idea of meditation is to focus on the breath and be aware of those thoughts, but to the best of your ability, calm the energy of
Calm
your
that monkey.
thoughts.
Yeah, tell that
Exactly.
monkey to
So
chill out.
it's not so much that the monkey, like you can't fight it. You must be present in that moment, understanding and feeling the
Be
thoughts,
one with the
but
monkey.
coming to terms with the fact that return to the breath, count to 10, feel the breath in as much as you can, fill the lungs, feel the breath out, and just focus on that. And it really does allow your body and your brain to chill out.
So is it like
And
a
to me,
sensory thing?
it's a mind body. Yeah, I mean,
Like you're feeling what your body's doing
different for
versus
everybody, right?
Can I ask another question, Jason? How
No.
long?
only
Please,
one
Can I
question,
ask
sir.
another question? So, in order for you to, how many times did you do it before you realized you were doing it right? Because, like, you explained it to me, and I can make
Yes.
the attempt, but I'm like, I don't think I'm doing it right. I feel
There's
like I
still
would do it.
monkeys floating around.
Yeah, there's too many monkeys in my brain, is what I'm saying.
The best thing you can do is to shorten your and lower the expectation, shorten the time period. Literally set that timer on your phone for 5 minutes. Sit there for 5 minutes. Focus on your breath. Count, if you have to count, you can, but count to 10. A deep breath in. Feel that air fill your lungs, and then let it go as far as it can until you can't breathe out anymore, and then breathe it back in. And you're gonna notice that you're just thinking about other shit, and you're but as you become aware of that other shit, and you refocus on the breath, then you know that you actually are doing it right. And it will take a very long time to get from 5 minutes to 10 minutes, but really to do that for anything longer than 15 minutes is very hard, even for a Buddhist monk who's meditating constantly. So you will feel, for me, whether you're and you want to sit up straight, feel that your spine is, you don't want to fall asleep.
Yeah, you're not
So,
supposed to just do
you
it
know,
in a chair, right? Like you're
no. You want to sit on a cushion of some kind. I like those like yoga, like the air cushion thing that you can sit on. So there's very little stress like on your spine itself, so you don't have to focus on your legs falling asleep or whatever. But even if you're in a chair, don't lean back in the chair, and just kind of sit there and think about breathing, and that's it. And you're going to think about all these other things that go on, and you just come back to the breath and you focus, and the timer will go off, and you open your eyes, and you will just feel a little bit like a weight kind of came off of your shoulders, and you get a little bit of a head high out of it, and then you kind of thank, they'll always do that namaste, like you're thanking the universe, for allowing you 5 or 10 minutes of peace, because once you're done, you're back to life, you're back to real, stress and bullshit.
When you say you get a mind high, are you sure you just weren't high already? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not sure.
quite possibly, he said.
So if you make the attempt to do that while also, partaking in some of the green stuff, does that make it easier to try? I'm just saying, because we don't have legal weed, but we do have like Delta 8, 9, whatever at some stores over here.
Oh, you got
So it's easier to
full
try
spectrum.
with that?
Get some
Yeah, the full
salvia
spectrum stuff. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk that one. That one sounds like a hot mess. I just don't want to try that.
You guys remember? Well, Jason, you wouldn't remember it. There was before we even officially started the podcast, the guy, I think his name was John.
yeah.
And Alex, you like mentioned something like I like weed, and like right away he was like, I got like 8 gummies I could sell you.
Yeah, I
Just
got a
go
bunch
get
of
one."
stuff I can peddle
Like
you.
within a second, I was like, "Oh my god, please let's not take this guy." And then finally, he quit himself. Thank God.
Yeah.
He was in it before.
Tell us
I
how
was.
you really feel about him, Joe.
Well, hopefully he doesn't listen to the podcast, but that just reminded me of that. And I was like, "Oh god, he's gonna be one of these."
Yeah, he was very deceiving. He seemed like a good guy, but the more
Oh,
he
I
got
think I
into the
know
planning with us.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I
bash.
see him
Yeah, I'm
all
not gonna
over
bash
Europe.
him, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of
I was
funny.
like,
yeah,
it was just like, what do you need? I got it. Like,
yeah.
I got it.
He's a salesman.
Never have I brought somebody onto the group that I just had this weird freaking feeling all of a sudden. I was like, man, this guy's not gonna fit with this thing at all.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's
it's so normalized here that for somebody to not smoke weed is like
you will
they
never
are the
you will never
oddball.
convince me.
Wow.
I do not smoke at all.
It would probably be.
Dude,
It would probably die.
I did it. No, I mean, who the fuck? I've tried it. I don't know if you've even tried it or not, Joe.
Yeah, college and stuff like that.
It just wasn't for me. And to this day, I don't like to be like, I lost my shit one time when my wife and I think we were engaged at that point, but I just don't like the smell of it. Fucking bothers me. I'm not saying everybody is a mega stoner, but the people that I knew back in the day that smoked were mega stoners. That whole mindset of it always drove me nuts. But now I'm kind of like, whatever, man. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I just choose not to do it, and I don't want to be around it if I don't have to. Doesn't mean I can't tolerate it if I'm somewhere where I mean, you never have to be around it, right? But it doesn't bother me as much as it used to, being legalized in so many places and stuff. I've just never, I don't know. I don't get the appeal of it. It made me feel like shit. I had anxiety when yeah. So it's just, it's just not for me.
Yeah. In some ways, you know. Yeah. The only time I ever did it was like, you're already at a party, you're partying, hanging out, and then it's like kind of the end of the night, and you stumble into the room, and everybody's like sitting around, and they're like, "Hey, you want this?" You're like, "All right, whatever." You know, it's like midnight, 1 o'clock.
My alcohol brain doesn't know what you're handing me, but I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. That was like really the only times we ever did it. It was really more just to continue a good time. It was never for me. It was never.
He's hitting a bong right now.
There you go, right?
Yeah, I'm blowing my nose. But yeah.
Oh, sure.
I hit the bong. You guys want the sound? You want a bong sound effect? I can make that happen. That's fine.
No, so I can't look.
The intro of any Sublime song.
Oh my god!
You don't smoke it, Alex.
No, I don't smoke it because I'm trying to save my lungs because I'm gonna get back into running once I
That's a
lose
good idea,
bit of poundage. And the only thing I do is edibles, but again, this is not like real deal edibles. This is like a Delta 9 variations. I'm pretty sure it's nothing like the real thing. It could also be the real thing. It could be dressed up and pretending like it's not the real thing. I don't know. Thank you, Jason, for the sound bit. But like I just take like very low like milligram of,
I think that's like, I think the Delta stuff is like a 0.05 because I've looked into CBD and I've used some of the CBD gummies that they're not full spectrum, they're 0 THC. Lab
I'm not even well versed in all that. Yeah.
So the Deltas I think do contain THC, but it's like I think it's a percentage of a percent. It's so low.
Okay.
But they do sell. I mean, a lot of companies that do the gummy thing now, they do sell full spectrum, which will give you the high that people associate with THC marijuana.
But there's different types, right? There's like the one that makes you laugh, and there's the one that makes you sleep, right?
Yeah, there's two.
I think it all depends how they affect you.
Yeah,
there is a very easy way to remember that.
Pineapple and
Let me learn you.
Can I please say it?
Let me
indica.
learn you something. You have the sativa, which is your euphoric active high, and then indica, which is indicouch is the easiest way to remember that. That is your sleepy. That is your sleepy time strain, and
That's
then
funny.
there's a hybrid between the two, and you could have a 50-50 hybrid.
Is
You could
this your
have
new
a
business you're talking
sativa.
about? Is this where you're going
It's
with
not business. It's
sales?
just been just my life for since I was about 17 years old.
It's great.
No business.
How did you keep this a secret for so long?
I don't know. Literally, like stoned every
He's
episode.
high
I don't know what
right
to tell
Oh
you.
my
Oh,
god!
that's what it is. Damn.
It's a part of his normal day, so it's not a big deal anymore. Like it's a big deal to us. Like,
There's a
hilarious,
big
man.
tolerance. There's a high tolerance. I have friends, and my sister is into it to the point where it's like blunts
Oh my
all
god!
day long. Where if you are smoking
Like
that
Snoop
much
Dogg
of it,
style.
yeah, like I don't have that kind of tolerance. I've never been one for like a blunt, throughout the day. If I smoke something like that much of it all at once, then I'm really gonna get, I'm gonna be out of it, tired, whatever. But
Wait, so how you
Yeah,
use it? You got
I
like a THC vape or something?
yeah, we have vape pens. We have like a pipe. You just put a little bit in a pipe and just kind of
got you.
on a break type
Like
of
the
thing.
old
And
Apple
edibles I
pipe
don't
back in the
like.
day,
Yeah, I've
Not
always
the-
liked
or the
a
Coke
glass.
can.
Yeah, I got a lot.
Jason, I got a question
Yeah,
for
poison,
you.
exactly.
Right? So now, like, I remember in high school, we had like one of our friends, his younger brother, smoked a lot. And then years later, like, now I don't know, maybe we were a little naive, but we found out that his dad smoked, and we were like, oh my god, blah 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 blah. Like, it was mind blowing to us. Like, we found like it in the shed, and the kid Russell, he's like, well, that's not mine. And then everybody's like, must be dad's then, right? And then we figured it out. Are you gonna be mad if your kids smoke?
I'm not gonna be mad. It's not something I want them to, become a part of or under. Like, it's not something I want. I'm proud of or I want to do. So my kids see me doing it. That being said, it's certainly something that helps me through my fathering experience. If I'm extremely stressed, I will go down in the basement, and I got windows and fans, like I'm still living with my parents.
Does the
and
wife
I try to
know?
keep it.
Oh, I love
Keep
it.
it.
I love it.
Yeah, no, my wife very much so. My wife was not on board, and I hid it from her for a long time when we were dating. But eventually, it is a very big part of my daily routine life, whatever. So eventually, she just kind of dealt with it. But I think there was a stigma for her of what it actually was, because she had family members who would just sit around doing nothing all day smoking weed. But
that's my stigma with it.
Yeah.
it's not it.
I've since come to realize that there are level-headed adults that just take the edge off. Yeah. But when I was growing up, and probably till my late 20s, like if you smoke weed, like that's how I used to picture everybody. Like you were so baked, you just sat on the sofa giggling and eating Doritos or Funyuns, whatever the fuck you want to eat.
Right.
But I've since, like I think we've talked before, my sister is a special needs teacher, and so I always like keep an eye on special needs things, because I find it just as interesting as she does, and I've read about a lot of the benefits that mainly THC. Autistic parents aren't having their kids smoke a joint or anything, but that's when I started getting interesting. I started getting interested in the THC thing, and the benefits it had. I mean, it's got benefits for kids with autism, epilepsy. It's been, and I mean, there's now like legitimate studies out there, right? Before, somebody would say like, "Oh, this will help with your epilepsy," and everyone's like, "Yeah, right. You're just fucking trying to get high and it be legit," right? But there are legitimate studies out there by very well-known doctors, research companies, And so it's finally catching on. And I think that was my turning point when it started becoming mainstream, all the stuff about CBD oil, CBD gummies, all that stuff, man. Because the main thing it used to be, right, was the cancer pill. They'd give it to cancer patients because it would give them the munchies they would eat, which is a big problem with people with cancer. They don't have an appetite. So that's where it started, but it is cool to see how it has progressed on the actual medical side. My only qualm with that is that they hand those cards out to everybody in their mind. I mean, you could stub your toe and walk in and be like, "Oh man, I have this disfigured toe," and they're like, "Here's your medical weed card for life."
Well, I think once they figured out how the government can make money on it, they said, "Hey,
exactly,
it'd be legal for everybody."
Yeah. Because that was really the biggest thing, right? If it wasn't legalized, they said, "Hey, well, it's going to be around, and they're making money on it. We're just not collecting anything from it."
Yeah.
So if everybody's getting it and it's all around,
I'll tell you the biggest issue I still have is I can literally. There's nowhere I can go in public where I haven't had to like walk past somebody either actively smoking it or just friggin'. You can tell they just friggin' smoked it.
Yeah.
And
it's a very particular odor, man. You can't get away from it.
Well, what really drives me nuts is when it's in like the car in front of me, and I've got a car packed with kids, and I don't give a fuck who you are. It's just like an alcoholic telling you they're fine to drive, right? If you've ever used it, there is no way in hell you can argue to me that you are driving the same way, inhibited by weed and not inhibited by it. And that's what drives me batshit crazy is when I smell it on the road. And when I'm driving behind you with my windows up and I can smell that shit, it's not like I'm just smelling like you are actively smoking in the car. And that kind of shit drives me nuts. If you want to do it in your private house, walking around the neighborhood, yeah, exactly. Just don't cruise and be smoking that shit.
Sorry.
I thought it was gin and juice for a second.
I'm in love with Mary Jane.
But that's my problem with it. Is it's become, and people don't realize they can still get a DWI if they get pulled over high as fuck, right? Which
that's crazy.
Yeah. That's why people are doing it in their cars. They're like, "Oh, it's legal now. I got my card. It's fine." No, it's not. If you got pulled over because you didn't react quick enough and ran a fucking red light, you can still go to jail and be fined as a DWI in every single state. So that shit bugs me. I'm sorry. I care about road safety and shit.
So besides
I'm on the same boat, buddy.
Besides marijuana, then what is another stress relief? Then because that was just 20 minutes right there on the one stress relief
beer
thing, right?
It's a good one. It's a good stress relief.
But listen, it's a big thing,
no,
and I'm sure
not saying. Yeah, I'm not knocking it for what it is
right now.
That's just
that
not
are
my
all kind
jam.
of thinking the same things, thought about it, and stuff like that. I know it's a big thing for people.
Dude, that is probably, if we could pull the data from those Facebook dad groups we met each other in, that's probably the number one answer when dads are like, "Damn, I'm stressed as fuck. What do I do?" It's a lot of dads like, dude, hit a
married dads, it's certainly not having sex. That's
well, that causes the stress. That doesn't help with the stress.
Again, evidence my wife does not listen to the podcast. So just go with that.
I'm gonna tell her.
Gotta find it.
I mean,
smoking, and you said no sex.
I don't know. For me, it's when I have like a project going around on the house. When I'm like actively working on something, like right now, I've got the downstairs bathroom that I gutted a month ago, and then I went on the tangent with the Christmas pixel lighting. So the bathroom's just been chilling, not finished. But for me, it's like it's doing something physical, like with my hands, whether it's just general woodworking or whether it's knocking something off the honeydew list. I I think those are when my stress
That's
level and my anxiety level are the lowest. Is when
Yeah,
I'm doing
woodworking with your hands.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
yeah. Rolling doobies does not count. That's working with your hands.
Woodworking with your hands.
That's funny.
120 pumps.
Oh, that's what you were
Nice.
talking about in the.
Nice.
That's a lot of pumps. That's a lot of pumps. No, I mean, I think most dads, myself included, you come home from a stressful day of work or shit's just been stressful all week. You go to the liquor cabinet or the fridge and grab a beer, right? I mean, I'm
See,
not gonna. That's what I do.
My wife was talking about that the other day. Actually, like that's like not a thing for me. Like when I have a stressful day, and this is gonna sound weird, but like I want an ice cold seltzer. Like,
Really?
and you
Well,
guys
that's fucking healthy, dude. But you're in the minority, I think.
You know, like, but it's not just, you know, it's not even a thought for me to like, you know, I want to go crack open a beer. It's just like, I want to get.
Well, that's a good thing, though.
Little seltzers, right? Like, but like that has nothing. Like I know, like alcohol is a stress reliever for people. Now it could also go the other way and cause worse things.
There's a fine line there,
Fine
right?
line of it for sure. You know, but I think there's a lot too. I think it's kind of the same thing. It's again almost like kind of like that motion. Right? Say I sit there and I can envision the seltzer, as weird as that sounds, in my fridge.
Like, oh, damn, that lemon LaCroix is waiting for me.
That's gonna be really good. That's gonna be really good.
I don't know.
Yeah, I used to keep my fridge stocked with beer for the same reason. I'm just like, oh, work is over. Time to crack a beer. Oh.
Yeah, and I would argue that's a large percentage of dads everywhere. I mean, men in general. Doesn't even have to be dads. I think because alcohol is easy to obtain, right? You can buy it at any price point you want to pay. I think that's why it's a go-to, and it's a slippery slope. Like there have been alcoholics in my family. I've seen some crazy alcoholism in friends' families, and it's a damn slippery slope. Is all I'm gonna. I don't want to. That's a whole nother like 40-minute episode, I think.
Yeah.
If we want to get into that, but it's a very fine line between just taking the edge off and just taking a deep breath and having a cold one versus, you know, drinking a 12-pack type scenario. But I think that's number one for, well, I won't say. I would say if I can do something physical, that is number one. Just being active. That's why I like the spring and summer, because I come home, I can cut the grass. And most people are like, fuck cutting the grass. Like, it's hot as shit. Sweat my ass off. I don't want to do that. But for me, that's, if I'm stressed out and I come home and I cut the grass, that like just walking around the yard with the mower for some reason, like reduces my stress. Right. Or working on something around the house. I know a lot of dads shoot guns. I know that's a controversial topic. But I love going to the shooting range when I have time. That reduces a lot of stress, and people are like, "That's fucking weird." Like, you feel really good about going to shoot a gun, and I'm like, "Yeah, well, go and try it." Like, you don't even have to own one. You can go into the range, watch the quick safety video, and work with a range officer and shoot a gun. You can rent it. Yeah. And I always say that to people, like, just try it. Like.
Have you guys ever? Do you have those smash rooms by you?
Yeah, we've got a couple, but I have not done one.
Either I just had a friend just do it. He said it was amazing.
Right. Well, then when we finally do our meetup, it has to be somewhere where there's a smash room.
Yeah, what are they called, the rage rooms?
Before we party, obviously we'll go there.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. First of all, we got to do it at Buc-ee's and then go break stuff.
Oh fuck, I forgot about Buc-ee's. Yeah. All right, so we're going to Buc-ee's, then we're going to smash shit, and then I don't know where. We also said we were going to go fishing because a lot of you guys were like, "I don't do a lot of fishing."
I'm not a fishing guy. I'm not a fishing
Well,
guy.
you're gonna be.
I've gone.
You're gonna grab
I've
that
gone.
little wiggly
It's
worm
cool.
and put it on the hook, and you're gonna be okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
All
I've
right,
been
so
on a lake.
we got Buc-ee's to the break room to fishing, and then we'll figure the rest out.
There we go. Then we'll just see what happens after we hang out with Jason and see where life takes us with all the weed and roll. Perfect.
Breaking plays. Alex, so what's your stress relief besides hugging the little munchkin?
So, my stress relief is very weird because I like to veg out and do nothing. So sometimes I'll get a snack. Sometimes I'll get a beer. Sometimes I'll literally just lay down in bed and watch either Netflix something or whatever. I'm fairly boring, and especially since I haven't been to the gym in a long time, for that aggressive fucking stress relief, my other stress relievers are pretty boring. You know what I mean? I don't smoke weed because the smell and kids. But I do like the Delta whatever edibles, and they do relax me. They work for me. That's kind of like my go-to. But
So
if not,
high,
I mean, I'm not.
I agree with you though on that, Alex. Minus the type of stuff.
Yeah, like
it's like just snacking and Netflix. Like you just
I like video games and mobile games, but my wife bitches about it.
No, well, that's also a thing, but I can't play video games. Like, I wish I could, but I get, like, motion sickness during some of the...
Oh, I thought you were going to say scream at all the little kids.
No. Like, no, I get motion sickness with, like, some of the, like, first-person shooter games. So like, that's the only games that I would play anyway. Like, I can't play them. You know what I mean? I've played a racing game, but like it's not. I've never really been a gamer, so I'm not going to go out of my way, spend X amount of money to get this game, and then buy games for it if it's not really my thing. Like,
and then pay for all the fucking updates to stay playing with your friends because they all have the new map pack and you don't. You're like, bro, I don't take it that seriously.
Yeah, video games were never a stress reliever. I think they were stress causer when I played. I'd get so freaking angry.
Dude, when I was playing like Call of Duty, man, I would stay up way too late.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I ruined a couple relationships because I played. I almost ruined the one with my wife because I was like playing games just way too fucking much. So, but they're fun.
I think the last one. Madden 2015, I think was the last one.
2015 Madden.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, that was like the last one I really played. I played in like the winter, and then after that year, that was like the last time I played video games, really.
Yeah.
But hey guys, I think we're about an hour into that, so we went a little bit over, but I think we had some awesome topics that kind of just kept rolling off the tongue. And, listen, hopefully...
I was looking for a better pun out of you there, Joe. I thought you were going to bring the heat.
I could have brought something in. I was waiting for Jason just to cue some sound to get something going, so I was giving him the mic. But, we had an awesome...
There we go.
But listen, we had an awesome time being here with you guys today. Hopefully you took something from it. Maybe you have some stress in your life where, maybe try some of the things, and, try some things, maybe stop some things, see what helps. Just keep it on the healthier side and make sure, you're doing it right and before you go down the wrong path of anything in any way. But guys, listen, like, subscribe, check us out, share, with your friends. We want to continue to grow. As Nick said, we got the core 5 that we're sticking with right now. If you feel like you'd be a good addition to the group, don't be afraid to reach out to Nick or anyone here. And, we'd be happy to meet you, talk with you, and see if it'd be a good fit. But thanks for your time, guys. I hope you're having fun kicking off. But we're peacing out with Time to Dad. Take care.
See you.
Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.